Hey, Wes from Avatar Off-Road here today. Today we're going to go through the installation of the Massif carrier on a Dodge Promaster. So we're going to start by taking the hinge completely off the door, and then we're going to thread our bracket onto the hinge. So I'll start by taking these 3 bolts out. You're going to need your helper supporting the door. So this is the upper and lower bracket for mounting the Massif to the Promaster. The upper bracket actually has this arrow on it, which will make sense when we go ahead and mount this on there. The lower bracket does not have an arrow, so they will go like that. This one, she decided to go with stainless steel because of the silver color, and she liked the stainless steel, so we didn't paint it black like we normally do, but you can do it either way. We'll start by threading this piece onto the hinge like that, and then we'll bring the door back in, put the bolts back in. All the screws and bolts on this thing are a number 40 Torx, which is kind of handy. So both of these bolts and all 3 of the bottom on the bottom end and the 2 on the top bracket is going to have this orientation with the arrow pointing up, and these 2 bolts are going to go into the hinge. The bolts that we provide are a little longer than the stock bolts because we're using a spacer. So that'll make sense here in a second, but you have to use the longer bolts. So the upper spacer brackets are not symmetrical, but they're really close. So you'll need to pay attention that you have them in the correct orientation. And the funky thing about the Promaster is on the passenger door, the hole closer to the edge, the hole closer to this edge, goes on the top. So you can kind of come around here and look at this real quick. And you can maybe see that this hole is closer to the hinge than this hole. But on the other side, on the driver's door, the opposite is true. The hole is further away on the top and it's closer on the bottom. So you'll need to orient your pieces accordingly. Driver's door, you're going to want the hole on the top to be further away from the hinge. It's a little confusing, but if you have any trouble with that, we can help you with that. But so they will not work if you put them in the opposite direction. So we'll start by, we'll basically take the hinge and have the door pull away a little bit more, and then we'll thread the bracket in there, and then we'll put the spacer in here. It's fairly easy to cross thread these top ones, so it's really better to run these in by hand. All right, the center bracket on the driver's door is going to mount under the strike plate. You can see that this side is a smaller hole than this side. This is like a 3/8, and this is more like a M8. So it's going to go in this orientation. And then there will be some cutting you have to do for the gasket to clear the bracket. So we just trimmed it up and over so that we can clear the bracket nicely and still have the door fit nicely. So with the gasket out of the way, you can see how this contours to the door. And then, like I said, we cut away this section so that it will clear the bracket. So on the passenger side, the inside bracket is just taking out these two bolts that hold onto the latch, and you don't have to then do the third bolt. So it's just a simple, just take these two out, put this on there, and bolt it on. The inside hinges are the exact same duplicate of what we did already on the driver's side. So you're going to thread it through, put the spacer in on the top with the longer bolts, and on the bottom just thread it through and bolt it back on. All right. So to aid in installing the Massif onto the brackets, I'm going to go ahead and put a bolt through, and then the what we use push-on nuts. So this will just hold the bolts in place while we're positioning the Massif onto the hinges, onto the brackets. All right, with those in place, we'll go ahead and guide the Massif onto the brackets. Install this one and go ahead and run a nut onto it. It's hold in place. Your assistant can not hold it anymore. And then just go ahead and put your remaining nuts on. Spin those on. So with all the nuts started on there, you can go ahead and just finish it up. We actually use a ratcheting boxed open wrench for the final assembly.